Hey, what is going on guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a few new strong and weak picks for patch 7.1. Before I get into the video though, I just want to address one thing, and that is, in this video, I'm only going to talk about the changes to champions that are actually going to make them stronger or weaker. I'm not going to talk about every single change that each champion is getting, because I feel like that's kind of pointless. If a champion is getting a change and I don't really think it's going to make them stronger or weaker, then I'm not going to talk about them in this video. And a few people in my last video I made for 6.24, a few people were commenting saying like, why didn't you talk about this change, or why didn't you talk about that change? And it's because the change wasn't going to affect the champion or affect how the game would be played. So with that being said guys, let's get into this video. Before we get into the 7.1 changes, I just want to take a look at the hotfix changes, or one of the hotfix changes that came to patch 6.24, and that was to Talia. So I think these changes to Talia are actually going to make her a much stronger pick now. So her Q's damage got increased, the base damage got increased, the AP ratio also got increased. It went from 140 base damage at rank 5 up to 170 now, which is actually really good. 30 base damage is actually quite a bit, and that's a really good buff to Talia's Q. It also says here that subsequent hits on the same unit now deal 60% reduced damage, but I did see a post from a rioter saying that this is overall a buff to Talia's Q. Even though the subsequent hits are going to deal a little bit less now, it's still a buff because the base damage got buffed as well as the AP ratio. So I think that if you are a good Talia player, or you want to pick up Talia in this coming patch, then I would definitely recommend doing it. So the first change I want to take a look at here for patch 7.1 is going to be to Draven, and I'm really surprised that they are buffing Draven's early game here. So what they're doing is they are increasing his Q damage in the earlier ranks, but it's going to decrease now in the mid to late game. I will put up on screen here like the changes to it. It is kind of hard to understand at first, but I did do the calculations to it, and your Q is going to deal more damage in the early game now. I really don't know why they're doing this, because Draven already has like a super strong early game, and they're just making that better now. So if you are a good Draven player, I think he could be pretty good in this coming patch. His W also, the mana cost got decreased as well, so it was 40 at all ranks before, and now once you get it maxed out, it's going to be 20 mana. So that one's really not too big of a deal. I think the Q1 is definitely a little bit better, but we'll see. I think that if you know how to play Draven correctly and you've played Draven quite a bit, then these changes will be really good for you, because it means that you're going to be able to snowball even harder in the early game, because your early game damage is going to be better now. But he still does have that main weakness of like, he doesn't have a gap closer. He can get caught out pretty quickly, so he is a high risk high reward champion, but he might be worth picking up in this coming patch due to these changes. Now the change to Calista here is also pretty interesting, and I don't think this change is going to make her top tier or anything. She is one of the worst AD carries right now, and this buff, it's really good. It's definitely in the right direction, and it will make her viable, I think, in this coming patch, but by no means is it going to make her like a top tier AD carry. So the rend is what is getting changed here, and the passive, it's no longer going to deactivate when your E is on cooldown. So that means you can constantly keep stacking your rend on your opponents even if your E is on cooldown. So then once it comes back off cooldown, you can instantly pop your E for a lot more damage in team fights. And the minimum units killed for the mana cost refund is also getting lowered, and I'm pretty sure they're just reverting this back to what it was on release, because I'm pretty sure on release when you killed one minion you would get that mana cost refund. So the next change here coming in this patch is going to be to Kenan, and this will make Kenan quite a bit weaker for sure. I really don't know why they're nerfing Kenan, because I feel like he's actually in a pretty good spot right now. Before they introduced Courage of the Colossus, I feel like he was like super strong top laner. He was definitely top tier, but once they introduced Courage, he kind of fell out of the meta a little bit. All of these like tank top laners are pretty strong right now, and Kenan isn't the best against champions like Maokai, Poppy, Nautilus, because they can easily just stop his engage with like a Maokai W, a Poppy ultimate, Nautilus ultimate. So I actually feel like he's in a pretty good spot right now. I don't really know why they're doing or why they're nerfing him now. If they were going to nerf him, then I feel like they would have done that like a few patches ago. His damage is getting lowered though. The base damage is getting a really big hit. So it's going from 80 at rank 1 down to 40. And then at rank 3, it's going from 210 down to 110. 100 damage less on your ultimate. So that's pretty crazy. And then the AP ratio is also taking a big hit. It's getting half, so from 40 down to 20. But I did read in a Rioter post that said if you end up getting a fully channeled ultimate off with Kenan, you get all of the ticks of your ultimate off. It's going to deal the same damage as it would on live servers right now. But if you don't end up getting a fully channeled ultimate off, say you only get 1 or 2 ticks of your ultimate and the enemy flashes out or they end up getting peel, then your ultimate is going to deal less damage. So as you can see there, it does say that once you do get a few ticks of your ultimate off, it is going to still deal pretty good damage. But if you only do end up getting like 1 or 2 ticks off of your ultimate, it's really not going to do a whole lot. And this is definitely going to decrease the assassination potential you have with Kenan. You're not really going to be able to like flash into a team fight, use your alt W combo and just one shot a target anymore. You're going to have to stay in there for a pretty decent duration with your ultimate running to be able to go for those assassinations now. The next nerf here is going to be to Lee Sin, and I really don't know why they're nerfing Lee Sin when there's champions like Vi and Hecarim and Shyvana just destroying right now, and they go ahead and nerf Lee Sin. Like this one, it just doesn't really make sense to me at all, but they're completely gutting Lee Sin's ultimate damage. So at rank 3 in your ultimate, it's going from 600 damage down to 450. At rank 1, it's 200 down to 150, so 50 damage, it's not a whole lot, but 600 down to 450, 150 damage, that's quite a bit. And they're nerfing Lee Sin's like late game here, which is really weird because Lee Sin is one of the worst late game champions, so they're making his late game damage even worse now by these changes. I don't know what Riot is thinking right now. Like, why aren't they nerfing Vi or Hecarim or one of the OP junglers? Like, why are they nerfing Lee Sin? But he will definitely get weaker in this patch, and unless you're like a super good Lee Sin player, then there's really no point in playing him, I don't think, in 7.1. So that is going to be all for this video, guys. Those were the only champions that I thought were worth noting in this video. Obviously, a lot of other champions are getting changed as well, but the changes that they're getting really aren't going to make them any stronger or any weaker, so I did not talk about them in this video. But with that being said though, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys have not already, and I will see you in my next video.